Hey, Kyle's Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's AEW Dynamite from August 24th, 2022, live from Cleveland, Ohio. So we'll see tonight a hometown hero tonight. KiLynn King defend her hometown Cleveland against rival Brit Baker DMD. We'll also see the first ever father versus son match in AEW history. Billy Gunn taking on his son Colten. We'll see two of the best wrestlers in the world, Dax Harwood, take on Jay Lethal. And another one of the best in the world will be in the building, Will Ospreay, with his United Empire faction, having Will Ospreay just lost in the finals of the G1 6 days ago. United Empire will take on Death Triangle. So that's a juicy matchup in the tournament for the trios titles, especially the winner of that getting the Elite and the returning Kenny Omega last week. But none of that pales in comparison to maybe the biggest match in AEW history happening tonight. CM Punk and Jon Moxley will unify the AEW world titles after CM Punk won the titles at Double or Nothing, injuring himself, jumping into the crowd and hitting his foot on the barricade, breaking a bone in his foot. So CM Punk was not stripped of the title. Instead, an interim champion was crowned after a tournament. Jon Moxley was able to defeat New Japan legend Hiroshi Tanahashi at Forbidden Door to become the interim world champion. Meanwhile, Jon Moxley has defended the title 3 times against against other competitors until CM Punk returned a couple weeks ago. Last week, they couldn't stop hurting each other, and a bunch of reports and stuff came out about blah, blah, blah. CM Punk wasn't supposed to call out Hangman Page. I just think it's just storyline. That's what they want you to think. So anyway, it's really intriguing, and I'm really looking forward to this. Is one of the most highly anticipated Dynamites in history of Dynamite. So this was a big stuff. I didn't write too big of a preview, as I feel like most AEW fans have been previewing this Dynamite all week long after the news was announced that instead of All Out, it'll be 11 days tonight, 11 days before All Out, it will be the unification match. So what could possibly be coming, some kind of big news or something's going to come out of this, and I'm really looking forward to finding out. So let's just get into it, and we'll review things as they go here. JR welcomes us to Dynamite, and it'll be Taz Excalibur and Tony Schiavone on commentary as well. So then the Jericho Appreciation Society intro music plays, followed by Judas. So that's the song that brings out Jericho, of course. And I like Jericho and all, but I was definitely excited to start this big AEW Dynamite out with a match. But oh well, this is going to be a big segment. I was also looking forward to this one because after last week's amazing 2 out of 3 falls match where Bryan Danielson defeated Daniel Garcia, the crowd chanted, "You're a wrestler," to Garcia, who has been saying he's a sports entertainer as part of Jericho Appreciation Society. So the crowd is super fired up for this show. They're all fired up with Jericho coming out, and they sing along to Judas and stuff. Jericho gets the microphone and says, "Last week, there was an issue between myself and a member of JAS that I wanted to work out." So then Daniel Garcia comes out, and the crowd chants, "You're a wrestler," again, as they did as well on Dark last night, where Daniel Garcia had a little warm-up match, a really good match against Weston Blake, formerly of Blake and Murphy. His partner, Buddy Matthews, is in AEW, so that's definitely interesting. Anyway, the crowd was chanting, "You're a wrestler," to Daniel Garcia. Jericho then says, "Don't listen to them. Yeah, you had a classic match with Bryan Danielson, but you put your hands on me. I understand you were heated from a grueling match. All I want is an apology." So Daniel Garcia then says, "You knew how special that moment was for me, to share the ring with my hero, Bryan Danielson. I hung with my hero, who people say is the best wrestler in the world, and I hung with them for 30 minutes. It's the exact moment I dreamed of as a kid. I got to have that match, and I wanted my family to help me get here to feel how I felt. When Danielson stuck out his hand as a sign of respect, that's all I cared about. But you ruined that moment, Chris." Jericho then says, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way." Not apologizing for the moment, but "I'm sorry you feel that way," Jericho says. "But there will be plenty more chances for that in JAS. You're the greatest sports entertainer. Say it. You're a sports entertainer." So that makes Bryan Danielson now come out. It's been a pretty good segment so far. If you don't care about Daniel Garcia, you might not have liked it, but all the work that Daniel Garcia has been able to do over the last month should make you care about him by now. You might not love him, but you should at least care about him. He's really had some good matches against Bryan Danielson. So Bryan Danielson comes out and says, Daniel, I see your mentor here is trying to bully you. But listen, you can be whatever you want to be. But after last week, I do agree with these people. You're a wrestler. So Jericho then yells at Garcia to say it. Garcia says, stop it. I've got my mentor and my hero here. You're trying to make me make this decision in public. I can't do it right now. Garcia goes to leave. Jericho grabs his shoulder. So Garcia shoves Jericho to the ground. The crowd absolutely loves it, and they chant, you deserve it. And Garcia looks remorseful, like he didn't mean to do that, but he just ends up leaving. This is too much of an emotional overload for the young Daniel Garcia. So Bryan Daniel then says, Chris, I'm not the biggest fan of sports entertainment, but that was entertaining. I messed it up, but that was a really funny line from Bryan Danielson. Jericho then says, yeah, well, people keep saying you're the best in the world. I've just never seen it. The greatest in the world is right here. I'm the last survivor of the Stu Hart dungeon, the Lionheart Chris Jericho, and I know more about wrestling than you ever will. Bryan Danielson then says, well, if we asked your mentor Stu Hart or your hero Chris Owen Hart who the better wrestler is between the two of us, who do you think they'll say? If we wrestled right now, who would win that match? Jericho says, all right, you got it. But not now. September 4th at All Out. But keep this in mind. Last time we were in the ring, I choked you out, and you were gone for 2 months. So watch your back. And then Jake Hager comes out of nowhere, attacking Bryan Danielson from behind. So he slams Bryan down hard. They talk some trash, and then they leave. So that was a long 15-minute segment, and it was pretty good. It had some twists and turns. Like I said, if you didn't care about Daniel Garcia, at least you probably cared about either Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho, and that should be a pretty good match and a good follow-up match for Jericho. Right after he brought out the Lionheart against Moxley, we'll now see the Lionheart again against Bryan Danielson at All Out. So that should be a pretty good match. I hope it's a good wrestling clinic. Not too much shenanigans, but of course it will have shenanigans. So if we can at least get a little bit of Stu Hart influenced grappling around the ring, that would be awesome. So that was the first 15 minutes. Pretty good stuff there. So now FTR's music hits and Dax Harwood comes out. So Cash Wheeler was there, but he leaves to go to the back, and Cash will be watching closely to see if there's any shenanigans, because there might be, because Jay Lethal is Dax Harwood's opponent. So Jay Lethal comes out ranked number 3 in the singles ranking still, and then Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt also go to the back. So that's interesting. We'll see if they stay there. So Dax Harwood and Jay Lethal, 2 of the best wrestlers in the world. I would say Dax Harwood has had a better 2022, but Jay Lethal's had the better career so far. We'll see what happens when they both retire. But anyway, we knew that this was going to be a great match. 2 elite level wrestlers. So let's see what they got for us in the opening match here after a long 15-minute segment of talking. So Dax and Jay lock up. Dax gets a shoulder tackle right away, showing his power and size advantage. Dax then shows he's got some agility as well by sliding through the legs of Jay Lethal. Jay then gets him, but Dax counters right back. Lethal then gets a head scissors applied, but Dax is able to get out of that. So great start to this match. They had some good fast-paced grappling and stuff. We're 20 minutes into this episode of Dynamite. No commercials yet, and it's been some pretty good stuff. I like that opening segment with Daniel Garcia and stuff. So anyway, we're 20 minutes in. Good stuff. This match is going on pretty good. Jay gets a headlock now and then takes Dax down, hitting a low drop kick, and then Dax hits a nasty loud chop to the chest. Just the first of many loud chops throughout the night, maybe 100 in total. This is just the first one. So anyway, Jay hits a nasty chop right back. He goes for the eyes, but now both men are still chopping the crap out of each other's chest. Dax hits a back body drop, and we see that both men's chests are red. So and I bet they're stinging like a mother effer. That hurts more than almost any other move that they do. Unless you get dropped on your head accidentally. Jay then gets thrown hard into the ropes, and the soul gets absolutely chopped out of him after that. That was so loud, and Jay's in a ton of pain. The crowd's going absolutely wild for these loud chops. Now Dax hits another chop, mounts up the corner for some punches, but Jay's able to counter it after about 4 or 5, hitting a middle rope Russian leg sweep. That was really nice. Awesome high-level elite match here. Definitely go watch this one if you're a wrestling fan and you missed it. We go to a picture-in-picture ad break now. Jay goes on the attack, hitting some more chops, throwing Dax hard in the corner, sternum first, chest first. So that same chest that was getting all the same thing happened to Jay earlier. They were both getting chops and then thrown chest first into the turnbuckle hard. Ridiculous stuff here. So Dax then counters Jay hits some closed fist punches right to Dax's forehead, maybe almost drawing some blood there. So then Jay applies a chin lock, but Dax counters this into a sleeper hold. Jay counters right back with a jawbreaker, and Dax is down and hurt from that one. That one got to him. So when we come back from the break, Dax is able to catch Jay from doing a top rope maneuver. Then Jay's able to hit a front suplex, taking Dax off the ropes. He's still up there, but Jay leaps off and Dax punches him right in the gut in midair, countering his dive. Dax then gets waist control here, hitting 2 German suplexes in a row. Jay fights off the third one, but Dax is able to maintain the waist control, hitting a nice overhead suplex toss. So then Jay gets up, hits some jabs, but Dax hits a big right hook, and a little bit of boxing match broke out here in the middle of a wrestling match. Jay then counters him, but Dax is able to block the figure 4 attempt. Jay does hit the lethal combination right after that, getting a 2 count. Dax is on the apron now for whatever reason. I think he rolled out there. They have a striking exchange, and then Jay catches Max coming back into the ring with his leg overstepping, hitting a dragon screw leg whip on the ropes. So then Jay dives to the outside on the Dax, and then Jay rolls him into the ring, applying the figure 4 he was looking for earlier. Uses Dax is able to use his size and power advantage here to get to the ropes, and Jay's just barely able to block a sharpshooter attempt, hitting some up kicks. Jay then hits a side kick right to the knee, and Dax is able to block the lethal ejection attempt. That might have spilled the end. I forget who it was. Was it CM Punk that says if you get hit with the lethal injection, it's all over? Maybe it was Bryan Danielson. I think it was, by the way. So anyway, Dax now hits a nasty-looking slingshot Liger bomb. That was awesome from Dax, and Jay just lands right on the back of his head. It looks like he's all right. That was another one of those elite-level moves you can only see from elite wrestlers. Anyway, Jay finds the fire inside to kick out of this ridiculous maneuver. Then Jay fights off another sharpshooter attempt. Dax then counters a figure 4 into a pin, but then just counters that pin, transitions that pin into a sharpshooter. Sanjay Dutt sees the writing on the wall, so he runs down now, and Sanjay Dutt's on the apron. Dax breaks the hold, and he's able to send Jay into Sanjay Dutt. Jay's able to kick out of a roll-up. Dax tries for a couple more roll-ups after that with some nice pinning maneuvers. Then Dax hits a springboard crossbody out of the corner of all things. Dax getting a 2 count on this one. What a match. And this is definitely going to be a special night if this is how we're kicking it off. So Dax now hits some more big chops. Jay goes down to a knee. Then they fight over a backslide. Dax is able to get a roll up, but Jay reverses this pin, grabs the trunks, and gets the 1, 2, 3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Jay Lethal. So wow, what a way to kick off or at least the first match. I like that segment earlier with Garcia, and then the follow it with this match. Holy crap, really good start to Dynamite this week. Like I kept trying to say, like these are moves that you only see from the highest level of wrestlers, and they just put on a clinic. These are 2 guys that you really know the art of pro wrestling, if you want to put it that way. So this was just a treat to watch. Really, really good stuff. Any old school fan would have loved this, and any new school fan would have loved this. Whether you're 90 years old or 9, I think you would like this match. So great stuff. Sanjay Dutt now is still out here. He's got the microphone now, and he says, "Give it up to my man, Jay Lethal. Hey, Dax, you and your buddies think you know it all, but you guys are dumb because you don't know it all. Jay Lethal will team with 2 close personal friends of ours. It won't be me and Satnam. And then, holy crap, my hometown Motor City Machine Guns, the music plays and the video package plays. Unfortunately, Alex Shelley and Chris Saban don't come out, but holy crap, that makes that it doesn't make up for the fact that FTR and Wardlow are in a meaningless trios match at a pay-per-view when they have a combined 4 titles they could be defending. But now that we're taking Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh out of the equation and slotting in Chris Saban and Alex Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns instead, sign me up for that match. That is going to be a great match. Holy crap. So it's basically the old X division of TNA. We've got Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Alex Shelley, and Chris Saban. I absolutely love it. That's some of my favorite stuff in wrestling ever, when it was those kind of guys in the X division, and they had Kevin Nash hanging out them with all kinds of memorable backstage segments. And then when they get in the ring, they'd throw down bangers. So like I said, that doesn't make up for the fact that FTR and Wardlow won't be defending any of their 4 titles at the pay-per-view. But it's so much better than Satnam and Sanjay. Very, very interesting. Also interesting because basically their entire careers, the Motor City Machine Guns, have been baby faces or good guys. And currently they are on Impact, and they're very good guys. They're one of the top heroes of the entire Impact roster, where we just saw Alex Shelley have a banger of an absolute banger of a match for the Impact World title, where Josh Alexander was able to retain, but Alex Shelley gave him everything he had in a really, really good match. So before that, we also saw one of the best Impact television matches in a many years. It was Chris Saban against Frankie Kazarian. A banger match there as well, 20 plus minutes. So Alex Shelley and Chris Saban are coming into this match really, really sharp at the top of their game. They even had Kushida forming a trios team called Time Machine. It's the Time Splitters team that Kushida and Alex Shelley formed, combined with the Motor City Machine Guns. So all of this has me pretty excited. I am a little bit biased. I'm from the Motor City, Detroit, and I love these guys. And I also loved TNA all the way through, including that amazing X Division stuff. So I can see some people maybe not excited, or maybe they don't know what they're getting into. But like I said, even though we're not getting the title defenses we wanted, and it seems like maybe it was a waste, and maybe it's not going to be a waste now that we're adding the Motor City Machine Guns. This could be a banger of a trios match and could outshine whatever the trios tournament final is. That would be interesting. You know that's something that FTR and the rest of the guys are going to be thinking. They're going to be like, we want our trios match to be better than probably the Young Bucks are going to be in the other one, so that personal rivalry. So that'll just make everything better. Competition makes everything better. So that's good stuff. Now we go from that exciting news, the really exciting news about the Motor City Machine Guns. We come back from the break with some absolutely heartbreaking, terrible news. Tony Schiavone was telling us earlier that he had big announcement concerning a title, and now we go to the back. Oh no, and Thunder Rosa is next to Tony Schiavone crying. Oh no. So Thunder Rosa is crying and she says, I'm heartbroken, but from this moment, I have to step down as women's champion. Oh crap. Tony, I hope your dreams come true, and I hope you win the interim, keyword there, interim women's championship at All Out. So wow, Rosa was bawling her eyes out. This was heartbreaking, and this was a surprise. I did not expect to see this on the show. Really just kind of took the wind out of my sails after that great Motor City Machine Guns announcement earlier. Kind of wished Rosa would have been able to do it in front of the crowd, but maybe Rosa herself didn't want to be out in the ring. She was really devastated and crying a lot. So that's just devastating news. I don't know what happened. I hadn't heard any news about this. Hopefully Thunder Rosa isn't out for too long. I think she's had a really good run as champion. I think AEW has been doing everything they can to not feature Thunder Rosa, and yet anytime they call upon her, Thunder Rosa does a good job. So I think despite AEW's best efforts to make her title reign not very good, she's had a good title reign, and now it's not over with. They will bring out the interim. We just got rid of one interim world title, and we bring in another interim world title. But what are you gonna do? I like that. I prefer that. And then I do prefer that over just stripping the champion who never lost the title, So anyway, they then tell us it's going to be a 4-way match at All Out for the interim women's world title. And we all know that all we know right now is Toni Storm will be the number 1 contender and she'll be in that match. But we do find out within the next match. I'll talk about it, or I can talk about it now. So it will be along with Toni Storm, Brit Baker, Jamie Hayter, and holy crap, Hikaru Shida, the first ever AEW champion. So that match will be a 4-way match: Brit Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Toni Storm for the interim women's world title. Wow, that should really be a good match. I would love to see Shida win the title again. Shida's been traveling back and forth from Japan every weekend and then coming to America, usually stuck on Elevation. She's almost always stuck on Elevation, and Shida's been throwing out banger matches. Meanwhile, she always travels back to Japan, having either 1 or 2 matches during the weekend. Hikaru Shida just won the Wave title. It was either last weekend or the one before, and now Shida has a shot at the AEW World title here. Oh man, I wish they would have made it like a 5-way. And Sheeta's been having a month-long rivalry with her original teacher, Emi Sakura, which they've been throwing down really good matches on Elevation as well. So this would have been a great chance to put Emi Sakura in there as well. She's really been doing great work on Elevation week after week. Emi Sakura, it's now almost up to 1,000 days since she's been on Dynamite. So I guess that's why she didn't get invited, because too many people would have been like, who's this? So anyway, that should be a great match. Unfortunate news about Thunder Rosa. But really looking forward to that match now. Like I was looking forward to Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm, but we did just see that, and they did just have a really good match. So like I'm heartbroken for Thunder Rosa, but I mean, if you're just looking at it as All Out, that match is going to be way better now. It's a 4-way match. There's going to be like 2 of the people are already teamed up. So we do find out later it's going to be a tag team match between those people. Like because Britt Baker has her friend Jamie Hayter in the match, but that might finally be the match where Jamie Hayter is or not turns on her, because it wouldn't even be turning on you. It's every woman for themselves for the title. So we might finally get the end of the Jamie Hayter thing. I think Jamie Hayter's ready to break out as a baby face on her own. I think she's good at promos. She never gets to talk. Britt Baker's going to be doing all the talking in any segment they're both in. Jamie Hayter's been a really, really good wrestler. That match she had against Thunder Rosa at Battle of the Belts was really good. So this should be a really good match, and I wouldn't mind. Basically, I'm cool with any 4 of the women getting the title. Hikaru Shida would be cool. I think she's been really proving it with tough work going from Japan to America. Only the wrestle on Elevation every single week. Shida flies back and forth from Japan just to wrestle on Elevation. So like if you think like she's just coming out of nowhere, no, she's been putting in the miles, literally thousands upon thousands of miles just in the last couple of months, where you might have been like, where the heck has Shida been? But no, she's been flying back and forth from Japan just to wrestle on Elevation. So that's going to be a really good match. So now, speaking of really good matches, this is not one of them, but nobody really expected it would be. We knew it'd be all about the stories, and it will be father versus son. So Colten Gunn comes out first, accompanied by his brother Austin Gunn, and then Billy Gunn comes out, and he's accompanied by the Acclaimed. So we get a Max Caster rap here, and it goes something like this: the Gun Club just turned into a stupid problem. Yo, Billy, I'm thinking you should have used a condom. Y'all about to get a savage beating. So bad they'll probably call another talent meeting. You little jerks get no respect. We wipe you out like Biden did student debt. Your whole life is a bad choice. Y'all not tough guys. Y'all just the butt boys. So then Billy gets into the ring to start this match. We see Stokely Hathaway is watching from the front row in the baddies section, I think, which is hilarious that Stokely Hathaway is in the baddies section here. So Billy then uses his size advantage to take control over his son Colten right away, but then Colten bails out of the ring, and we go to a picture-in-picture ad break right away. A little sign from AEW to tell you, don't worry don't care about this match too much. So don't worry, we weren't. So anyway, Colten comes in, he gets clotheslined, rolls out of the ring again. Billy then chases his son around the outside of the ring while his son crawls on his hands and knees. A little ridiculous. Then back in the ring, Colten is able to catch Billy with a strike and take over control. Now all of a sudden, Stokely Hathaway jumps the barricade and he hits Max Caster with the boombox while Austin Gunn takes out Bowens. Colten then gives his father a low blow. The referee was distracted by all this commotion on the outside. Colten hits the Colt 45, getting the 1-2-3. The winner of this match by pinfall, Colten Gunn. So a nothing match here, but we kind of expected that. At least we got a nice Max Caster wrap, and we got more with the storyline with Stokely Hathaway. So now the Gun Club is beating up their dad and the Acclaimed here after the match. And who comes out but Swerve and Our Glory? The tag team champions run out to make the save, and then the Gun Club leaves. They run away scared. So I figured that if you've been following on my Dark and Elevation reviews, I've been talking about how basically nobody other than the Acclaimed is going to be the people to get the tag title shot, and that is exactly what this is leading up to. So Swerve and Our Glory come out to save the Acclaimed. They help them up, and nothing happens here. They just shake hands and stuff, and the segment ends. But yes, we will talk about later how this is indeed setting up the title match, which I figured. They got the Acclaim got into the top 5. Clearly, FTR and Young Bucks are ahead of them in the rankings, but for whatever reason, they're both going to be in trios matches at All Out, which means Swerve and Our Glory will take on the Acclaimed. One of the other ones in the top 5 are 10 and Evil Uno. They're probably going to be in the finals. I would guess Dark Order against the Elite is the finals of the trios tournament, which only really left the Acclaimed. I can't think of who the 5th tag team is. Maybe it's Lucha Brothers or something. Speaking of Lucha Brothers, in the back now, Tony Schiavone is with Death Triangle, all 3 of them here, and all 3 members of United Empire. So Tony Schiavone tells us the main event will be this trios tournament match, which is big news. So I wonder if maybe the title match is next, or is it going to be the women's match? So Will Ospreay here says, Pac, long time no see. Last time we were in the ring together, it was a 30-minute draw. I'm glad you got your friends with you because I've got mine. And we've got one mission, brother. More gold for the United Empire. So Pac then says, well, you see, Will, we've waited around too long for this opportunity. So we've made a decision. Tonight, gentlemen, we're not going to kill you. We're going to murder you. Tonight, you'll find out the hard way that this is our territory. And then we go to a commercial. So pretty good promo here. Just a little setup. I like it because 2 of the best British wrestlers in the world right here. Zack Sabre Jr. would definitely have something to say about that. But Will Ospreay and Pac and Zack Sabre Jr. probably the top 3 British wrestlers in the world. And there's a lot of good ones. So good to remind people and have a little promo here. That and the big news coming out of that was that we found out the trios tournament match will be the main event. So that is definitely some news. You'll find out why later if you haven't seen what happens yet. So anyway, it will be the women's match next when we come back. It's for the so it'll be that Brit Baker makes her entrance here in enemy territory in Cleveland, wearing her Pittsburgh or Britsburg yellow and black here in enemy territory. So the last time we saw Brit was in Cleveland, she was doing a whole long segment talking about how great Pittsburgh was and how bad Cleveland is. So now the same crowd, probably a lot of same people were in the crowd tonight, and they remember that very well. KiLynn King now comes down as the hometown hero, and she's all fired up for this match. So KiLynn King was a regular during the pandemic era, amassing 50 matches during the pandemic era. However, when the AEW started going on the road again, KiLynn King's services were no longer required. Just one of the side effects of Chris Statlander now injuring her knee again has meant that KiLynn King has now taken over Chris Statlander's spot. Unfortunate for Chris, but good for KiLynn King, who then went over to NWA, made a name for herself there, and almost won the NWA World Women's title from Camille, who's been unbeatable ever since she defeated Serena Deeb for the title. So KiLynn King has now gone from that no AEW matches since she lost to, I think it was Brandy Rhodes of all people on Elevation back in January. Now KiLynn King has had 3 matches in 8 days for AEW. So Brit Baker starts this match strong with a sling blade of all things. Then KiLynn King hits a middle rope drop kick, kind of landing on the back of her head. She needs to be careful with that move. She did the same thing last night on Dark, where if you didn't see the Britt Baker actually showed up to Dark. You can check out my Dark review for all that. But Britt Baker was actually there, and they had a really long, probably 8-minute long back and forth promo segment between KiLynn King and Britt Baker to set us up for this match. So anyway, right after that middle rope drop kick from KiLynn King, she tries for a full Nelson kind of maneuver here, but Britt Baker is able to get out and hit a big strike. The crowd's now chanting Pittsburgh sucks. If you don't know, Pittsburgh and Cleveland have a big rivalry. So, excuse me. KiLynn King is able to evade an attack, but Britt Baker counters her next attack with a buckle flatliner right into the turnbuckle. So Britt then pulls the arm around the ring post and applies a chin lock. Britt's looking super fired up for this match after she found out she'll be in the title match at All Out. So she's fired up, but now KiLynn King fires up, hitting big forearms, but Britt kicks the knee of the 6'1". You got to attack the knees of larger opponents. So King then is able to counter a stomp attempt here, hitting a big roundhouse kick using her long legs with the reach advantage, hitting that nice kick. KiLynn King follows that up with a nice looking suplex and then hits a full Nelson slam for a 2 count. Then KiLynn King stays on the attack, but Britt's able to block the next one, hitting 2 big thrust kicks and then hitting a stomp on KiLynn King. Britt then puts her glove on and applies the lockjaw, and King is stuck right in the middle of the ring and is forced to tap out. Man, the it kind of went down with a whimper. We didn't even this is wow, for maybe the first time in years there was a women's match that didn't go to a picture-in-picture ad break, and that's because it didn't last very long. So unfortunate for KiLynn King, but like I said, it is fortunate that she just got brought back in the AEW. Unfortunate that it was Chris Statlander's spot that she had to take through injury, but nonetheless, KiLynn King is really good. She's 6'1". She's only 26 years old, and she's already really, really good in the ring. So good stuff to have her back in the AEW. Anyway, Britt Baker is your winner of this match by submission, and she gets on the microphone now and says, "Cleveland, isn't it a shame about Thunder Rosa? It's sad. But let me remind you, when I was champion, that I wrestled the entire time with a broken wrist. Hey, Tony, finally, you'll be in a pay-per-view match where people actually give a damn." And that makes Tony Storm come out. But then Jamie Hayter comes from behind Tony Storm, taking her out. Rebel is here as well, holding up a giant version of the Pittsburgh Steelers terrible towel. I don't even know. It was like a beach towel version of it. Anyway, that makes Hikaru Shida now run out, and she's got a kendo stick with her. So Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter now, and Rebel for that matter, run away. So Jamie was looking incredible tonight. So that match is going to be awesome. And like I said, I don't even care who wins. It's going to be a great match. We'll probably see more of the storyline between Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, which kind of just evaporated after they were showing tension for so long. So that's going to be really good stuff. In the back now, Tony Schiavone's with the Acclaimed and Swerve in our glory. And Swerve says, "We don't mind helping. Everyone loves the Acclaimed." And then Keith Lee says, "We saved you because you're in the top 5 and you're worthy opponents for our titles." Max Caster then says, "We're the best homegrown tag team in AEW." A little shot at Private Party there. Bowens then says, "We will win the titles." So then it's confirmed. And I figured this was going to be the title match for the last couple of weeks. Once we found out Young Bucks and FTR were seemingly going to both be in different trios matches. And that basically only left the Acclaimed because you couldn't even put the Dark Order in that match, because I'm pretty sure Dark Order is going to take on the Elite. So I'm pretty sure that tick up. I can't remember who the other top 5, maybe it's Lucha Brothers. But yeah, it was always going to be the Acclaimed, and we got that should be a pretty good matchup, and it's good for the culture again. So back-to-back all black tag teams facing each other for the titles. We just had for the first time ever on Rampage last Friday, and now we'll have it again here. So Here we go. It is time for the unification match. Strap yourselves in. So Jon Moxley comes out through the crowd, and this is going to be wild, just like Wild Thing is talking about. We don't know what the heck's going to happen here. Why the heck is this title match happening 11 days before All Out? What the heck's the All Out title match going to be? So let's find out. This was what we're all been waiting for an entire week. But don't forget, these are two great wrestlers, so it should be a great match, and it should have some great story to go along with it. So the crowd is super loud for this match. And don't forget, Jon Moxley is in his home state of Ohio. So Jon Moxley gets in the ring and holds the interim world title up high. And now CM Punk comes out, and not as many cheers as usual. Like I said, we are in Moxley country. So it'll be interesting to see if Punk gets booed at all during this match. CM Punk is wearing the long pants tonight, and we're told this match has a 60-minute time limit, and there's almost exactly 60 minutes left in the show. So they did make a point of telling us that it was going to be the trios match in the main event. So I was thinking maybe this is going to be a 60-minute time limit, and that's why it's here. And then we can go to All Out for the rematch. So maybe they could just move that trios match to Rampage instead. Definitely something to think about as this match gets going. So huge chance here for the home state Moxley. And then during the introductions for CM Punk, he definitely got boos here. So we're definitely in Moxley country of Ohio. And plus, a lot of fans might be believing the hype and the reports that CM Punk was actually going off script. I still believe it's storyline, and I love the storyline, so I don't even really care. So anyway, Punk, it could have just been because we're in Moxley country of Ohio. Either way, Punk getting boos here. So the referee holds up both titles, and that will start us out for this unification match. The crowd goes absolutely wild for the bell ringing. Both Punk and Moxley stare each other down and haven't moved for almost 30 seconds here. So the crowd is now dueling chants for both men. Let's go Moxley. Let's go Punk. Then they tie, or maybe just CM Punk. So anyway, they tie up. No clean break from Moxley in the corner, who Moxley unloads forearms here and is talking trash in Punk's face. Punk fires up now, hits a big flurry of strikes as of his own. Then Moxley hits a headbutt right to Punk's face. Punk then answers back with a nice looking enziguri kick. And holy crap, right after the enziguri kick that Punk hit, Punk is now down on the mat screaming in pain here, having re-injured his broken foot on the enziguri kick. We just started this match. Moxley now Moxley, after he obviously heard the screaming pain from Punk after he hit that kick. So Moxley, it's a King Kong lariat, then a bunch of hammer and anvil elbows. Moxley smells blood, and he's looking to end it now. Moxley, it's the Death Rider, and holy crap, is this match already close to its end? Moxley then takes the time to point the finger gun before hitting another Death Rider, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Holy crap, the winner of this match by pinfall and undisputed AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. Holy crap. Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that whatsoever. So the story here is that CM Punk has rushed back too soon, and he lost the title in 4 minutes. That is wild. Nobody can believe what they've just witnessed. There's still like 50 minutes left in this show. All we've got left is the Ricky Starks interview, and the trios tournament is scheduled. So nobody can believe what we've just seen. Moxley kind of throws a chair in disgust at the little bit of fight that Punk had in him today. He was here for a fight, and Punk didn't have any fight in him. Oh my gosh, what did we just witness? So the doctors now help Punk out of the ring. Punk can't put any weight on his foot, and maybe he re-broke the bone in his foot. Who knows what kind of damage just happened. So Jon Moxley celebrates in the crowd as Wild Thing's playing as Punk's getting carried out. This whole thing is wild. Like, is MJF going to return tonight? Like, where's Hangman Page? Like, who is Moxley going to fight it all out? It's only 11 days away. This is absolutely incredible. Dynamite takes their time here, showing replays, showing that nobody expected for this match to end already. Then finally, we just go to the back. So before we go to the back, holy crap, what did we just witness? Everyone was thinking that something had to be up here, because why would you have CM Punk in the unification match 11 days before a pay-per-view when you only have 4 pay-per-views a year, and this is in CM Punk's hometown? Now we've got our answer. CM Punk wasn't ready. And by ready, I mean he wasn't ready for like a 20-minute, 30-minute pay-per-view match, but CM Punk could work a 4-minute match where he barely has to do anything. That's kind of bad news, meaning that CM Punk may be a few months away from return. They'll use this as an excuse. Oh, he quote unquote re-injured the foot, and maybe he'll take a couple more months. Maybe we'll get Punk back. What's the next one? Full Gear. So maybe Punk will be back for Full Gear. And Punk just wasn't ready. And Tony Khan decided, well, Tony Khan had a decision to make. Does he want to go 4, maybe 5 months with an interim champion, Jon Moxley, or CM Punk? Hey, are you well enough to drop the title in 4 minutes or whatever? And that's what we got. So that's the answer. Everyone's question, the burning question that everyone's had for the entire last week was, why is this title now? And now we know. And I can't remember, so I can't give them credit. I can't remember who said it, but somebody did bring up the theory when everybody else was thrown out. Well, maybe it'll be a 4-way with MJF and Hangman and these two at All Out. But somebody did throw out the theory of, well, maybe CM Punk's just not ready and they're going to drop the title here and move on. So that's exactly what happened, and I love the way it came off. I don't think anybody really, nobody booed in the crowd for the match being so short. They were shocked, but they were also loving the fact that Jon Moxley, in his home state, just destroyed CM Punk in about 4 minutes. I don't have the exact time, but I don't think it's over 5. So that was really, really good stuff. I love it. I love that. That was really good, and it completely makes up for I was like, oh, why are you ruining this match by putting it on 11 days early where it's going to have picture-in-picture ad breaks and it's not going to be as good as it could have been during a pay-per-view. And who knows, maybe we'll be wrong and we'll still get that 4-way at All Out or something. But it's definitely the way CM Punk wasn't even putting any weight on his foot. That tells us CM Punk's going to be gone until Full Gear for sure now. So that was wild. Now we go to the back. We'll try and move on for that. Tony Schiavone's in the back with Christian Cage. So Christian now has his arm in a brace after the attack from Jungle Boy last week. Christian says, I extended the olive branch to you, and I gave you one last chance to apologize. I know I said some things too, but the difference was yours was coming from malice, and mine was tough love. But you'll never be as smart as me, and now you challenge me to a match at All Out. That's fine. You can't throw anything to me that I haven't already seen in my career. You'll find out I'm not average. I'm special. And at All Out, even less than 100%, you'll find out that you aren't and never will be in my league. So that sets us up for another match. We've all pretty much assumed Christian Cage and Jungle Boy were having a match. And the big question around that one is, whose side is Luchasaurus on? But I've been saying it from the beginning. Luchasaurus didn't turn back green. He's still black. So that tells you everything you need to know right there. Anyway, Ricky Starks now comes out, and he's got potentially Powerhouse Hobbs and all 5 members of the factory after him. So Ricky's going to have to be looking behind him here for a potential 6-on-1 beatdown. He's got 6 different people that want to get to him. So Ricky Starks comes out and he says, let's get down to business. I'm not in a good mood. I'm hurt and I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off from dealing from Hobbs in the factory, and I've got veterans back there telling me it's just business. This is not about friends. But I thought I had a friend in Hobbs. When I broke my neck, he called me every day, and he wanted me to make a big comeback. But the thing is, people don't want to see those other people doing better than them. You were just a background player playing security guard for Brit Baker, but then you met me, and I made sure the spotlight was big enough for the both of us. I should have known you were going to stab me in the back, but you didn't. You went for my neck, man. I was close to losing all this again. I called you a friend, but now I just call you a dirty, low-down, dirty snake. Where I'm from, we cut the heads off of snakes. So how about you bring your $5 butt to All Out and we settle it there? Then Ricky Starks goes to leave and nobody attacks him. So, wow, Ricky Starks getting out of here in one piece. You got to imagine Powerhouse Hobbs is going to have something to say to that, as Powerhouse Hobbs last week on Dynamite threatened the factory because the factory said they were going to do something about Ricky Starks. So now we've got 40 minutes left. Only the trios match left scheduled. So I wonder if we'll get any other shocking developments. So when we go to a commercial, when we come back, we see Jon Moxley. He's in the back or wherever he likes to hang out in these buildings. And Jon Moxley says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is that not how it was supposed to go? Are everyone surprised right now? Are just the people that wrote my obituary. They wrote me off the second Punk came back. But the truth is, the answer to every problem is Jon Moxley. I'm pro wrestling, and I'm not just some guy. I am the guy. I don't follow the rules. People ask me when my time is coming. Well, I'm telling you, my time is now, which had me worried about a John Cena program. I'm like, don't be saying that. He's like, my time is now. My time is now. My time is now. He said it like as many. Oh my! If John Cena joins AEW, oh my god, oh my god, John Cena has to be under contract. But could you imagine? Jon Moxley just beat CM Punk, and then Moxley's over here saying, "My time is now. My time is now. My time is now." Oh my god, I would keel over. I'm one of the biggest John Cena haters. I would just keel right over if John Cena wins the title in Chicago and takes it wherever, back to WWE or what. I don't. Holy crap. Well, I doubt that's gonna happen, but Jon Moxley's kind of putting it out in the ether waves, like here, like holy crap. So here's our big rundown of what's going to happen in the next week or so. And also we've got matches announced for All Out here. So here's our big rundown of the week. And fortunately, it's not Moxley versus John Cena announced, which I was a little scared about after Moxley kept saying my time is now. So anyway, Rampage, I guess there's still time for them to announce that next week. But anyway, Rampage this week will be the Trios tournament match between the Dark Order and House of Black. But weirdly, for some reason, there's a blank spot over where 10 should have been on the Dark Order side. So we already know that Evil Uno is in Germany. If you didn't see the big AEW reveals of the gameplay from the video game Fight Forever was revealed today at a German video game convention, which Dark Order's Evil Uno had to go to that, and he won't be there for the trios match. So it was supposed to be 10, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver, but for whatever reason, there's a blank spot here as if like a mystery partner instead of 10. What the heck does that mean? Is Alan Five Angels coming back? Is Colt Cabana going to be there? That definitely has me intrigued. So definitely tune in the Rampage. Maybe it's just 10 and they messed up. Who knows? But anyway, there'll also be, it didn't have it written down, but it showed the AAA mixed tag titles will also be on the line at Rampage with Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello, now her name is, defending against Ortiz and Ruby Soho, who we saw Ortiz and Ruby Soho have a mixed tag, or just a mixed match on Elevation last week. So, and then hilariously, for some reason, Ryan Nemeth is getting a TNT title shot against Wardlow. So you can imagine that match is going to last 15 seconds. Ryan Nemeth has been losing every single match. Although he finally won he did win a tag team match just last night on Dark, but that was his first win in months. And JR can't even pronounce Nemeth's name wrong. I think he called him Nemeth. So poor Ryan Nemeth, he finally gets a mention on Dynamite, and the announcers get his name wrong. So like I said, how the heck does he get a TNT title? Anyway, the big match on Rampage this week is Claudio Castagnoli defending the ROH World title against Dustin Rhodes. So that's going to be a really good match. Should be the main event of Rampage. So we've got potentially 3 title matches on Rampage this week, as well as a tournament match from the Trios tournament. So next week on Dynamite, it's going to be a match nobody really asked for, but maybe it'll be a good one. Jake Hager from the Jericho Appreciation Society taking on Bryan Danielson from the Blackpool Combat Club. Also next week, it'll be a big match, big implications in the women's division in a tag match. The 4 women that are going to be in the title match for the interim women's world title. It'll be Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida taking on Brit Baker and Jamie Hayter. And then here's where we get our big mention of all the matches at All Out. It'll be Bryan Danielson taking on the Lionheart Chris Jericho. So American Dragon against Lionheart. That should be a good one. Also, it'll be whoever's in the finals of the Trios tournament. From the beginning, I was guessing the Elite against Dark Order with Hangman Page facing a moral dilemma and also the rest of the Elite. So I'm guessing that's what we'll see there. Anyway, now, unfortunately, Thunder Rosa is injured, and we'll have to name an interim women's world champion. Right when we finally got rid of the interim men's world champion, we got to get a women's one. So a four-way match: Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter. Also, Jungle Boy will take on Christian at All Out, as well as the FTR Wardlow Trios team taking on Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Saban. There'll also be a casino ladder match with basically everyone else in it. And then Swerve in Our Glory defends the tag team titles, the AEW tag team titles against the Acclaimed. And then Powerhouse Hobbs takes on Ricky Starks. So that's basically the entire lineup. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches right there, and including whatever the heck we're going to get for the world title match. Maybe one other match, maybe a Jade Cargill TBS title defense will be added, and maybe a like a Danhausen or something pre-show match, maybe a couple pre-show matches, but that's basically the card right there. So Danielson Jericho, the four-way interim match, Jungle Boy Christian, FTR Wardlow, Jay Lethal, Motor City Machine Guns, Casino Ladder Match, Swerve in Our Glory, Acclaimed, and then Powerhouse Ricky Starks. So that's what we're looking at. Looks like a pretty good card. Everything they've been building up, like other than the women's four-way interim title match, which they didn't know they were going to have to do. I'm guessing the one everyone's disappointed. I'm guessing everyone's still disappointed that FTR and Wardlow aren't defending the titles at All Out. But putting the Motor City Machine Guns in there instead of Satnam Singh and Sanjay is such a freaking upgrade. You have no idea. So it's still not perfect because, yeah, we'd rather just see FTR in a tag match defending one of their 3 titles or getting that 4. You could have had 4 titles on the line. Swerve in Our Glory against FTR, but I do like Acclaim getting a title shot. You know, Acclaimed have been putting in the work, and everybody loves the Acclaimed. It's not just a slogan. It seemingly everybody does love the Acclaimed. So now we get a little quick recap of Kenny Omega's return from last week, and now it's time for the main event. So this will be and there's a lot of time left. So they left a lot of time for this match, which told me this was going to be a good match. So United Empire comes out first. You've got the IWGP United States Champion Will Ospreay alongside the New Japan Strong Tag Team Champions Aussie Open. So that's Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher. So Will Ospreay just lost in the G1 finals against Kazuchika Okada 6 days ago after wrestling 20 matches in 5 weeks, 8 of them grueling league matches. Right after that, that was only 6 days ago in the G1 finals, Will Ospreay then defended his Rev Pro British heavyweight title twice over the weekend. He retained the first night against Speedball Mike Bailey, one of the best wrestlers in the world currently. He retained against Bailey, Speedball Mike Bailey. But then the next night, Paige's younger brother, Ricky Knight Jr., 22 or 23-year-old, who's been tearing up the independents and Rev Pro over in England. Paige, as in Paige here. I can't believe I just did that. But anyway, Ricky Knight. So Will Ospreay's definitely, it might be catching up to him. So many matches in a row here, and he just lost the British title after defending it 2 nights in a row, only a few days after his G1 finals match. So Will Ospreay is going to get another chance to get into the ring with Kenny Omega next week if he can get the win tonight with Aussie Open. So we're going to go to a commercial break before Death Triangle comes out. But before that even happens, we see that Don Callis, of all people, is going to be on commentary. Not exactly William Regal on commentary as Don Callis. He's not annoying or anything, but he's just no William Regal, who we didn't get to see. I think we haven't seen Regal in a couple weeks now. I hope he's doing all right health-wise. Anyway, when we come back from the break, Death Triangle comes out, accompanied by Alex Abrihentes, and this is Penta, Oscuro, Ray Fenix, and the AEW All-Atlantic Champion Pac. So this is going to be a really good match, really good main event. We see that the best friends are watching in the front row. I think they're in the baddies section, which is again funny. We saw Hathaway out there earlier. Then Ospreay and Fenix are going to start this match, and holy crap, do they start it with some amazing lucha libre. Words can't even describe how Will Ospreay and Rey Fenix started this match. They basically used some elite level agility to avoid any attack and just flip on out of everything here, all quick, fast paced, and it lasted for like a minute and a half. What a great start to this match. It really tells you, lets you know what you're getting into right here. So all 6 men now come into the ring, and a big brawl ensues, with United Empire able to win the big brawl here because they're the larger men. But then out of nowhere, Fenix hits a big move and Penta hits a back body drop as United Empire now all bail out of the ring. All 3 members of Death Triangle now leap out of the ring at the same time, onto United Empire, with Pac hitting a Fosbury flop that looked amazing. So back in the ring now, Fenix hits a chop on Ospreay. Pac tags in and he chops the absolute soul out of Ospreay. Penta tags in, he chops Ospreay as well. And wow, a lot of big chops on this episode of Dynamite. Penta's now holding the arm and he tags in Fenix to hurt the arm on Ospreay. Fenix, and it's a nasty palm strike to the face for a 2 count. Really good match. We're on to our first of 3 picture-in-picture ad breaks. This is a long match. Ospreay's getting absolutely destroyed. His body's weakened already from all those matches over the past 5 weeks. Fenix is in now, and he hits a drop kick. Ospreay can't even get off the mat or over to his corner, not even close. He is completely isolated in the wrong corner. Death Triangle have done a brilliant job of not only isolating someone, but isolating the best opponent. So they have isolated and damaged the best opponent, Will Ospreay. Now Fenix is applying a Fujiwara armbar. He then uses joint manipulation on Ospreay's wrist at the same time. Ospreay is able to get out, but a hard kick to his head takes him right back down. So I did not expect to see this on this night of unexpected stuff. Still can't believe CM Punk lost in 4 minutes. So now we're back from a mad break, and Fenix hits another big chop. Now Mark Davis is able to pull Fenix out of the ring and finally maybe stop this onslaught. Ospreay was getting destroyed. And yes, Ospreay gets some time to recover. Now, all just basically out of nowhere, Ospreay hits a beautiful looking sky twister press from the top rope to the outside, taking out Pac and Penta. That move is so good. He did it in the finals and it was amazing against Okada. So the crowd is absolutely going wild now, and United Empire's in full control finally. Aussie Open now hit a big double team on Fenix, who's just barely able to kick out of that one. And then Mark Davis is the legal man, hitting big strikes on the much smaller Fenix. Danhausen is now in the crowd with the best friends in the baddie section. Mark hits a scoop slam and tags in Kyle Fletcher. Now Fenix hits an overhead chop, but Kyle talks trash and is able to hit a scoop slam. Mark Davis tags back in. Aussie Open hit a double team, but Fenix is able to duck under a double forearm here, and Aussie Open hit each other. So Fenix then double springboard arm drag that looked amazing and is able to now tag in his brother Penta. Penta comes in and hitting sling blades on both Aussie Open members. Penta then destroys Kyle and looks for the fear factor on Mark, but Mark was too powerful and is able to block it. Will Ospreay now comes in, hitting a corkscrew leg or a springboard kick here, and Fenix now comes in to break up the pin as we go to a second of 3rd picture-in-picture ad breaks. Pac is now thrown into the barricade as Mark Davis is now wearing down Penta in the ring. Ospreay tags in, hitting some strikes and trying to take Penta's mask off. Penta just can't avoid all these people trying to take his mask off. But Penta blocks this, and Ospreay stays on the attack. Penta fires up now and is able to tag in Pac, who comes in and hits Aussie Open off the apron before hitting a nasty German rebound German suplex on Ospreay. Pac then deadlifts Ospreay up, but Ospreay grabs the rope to block the German attempt. Fenix then tightrope walks over that same rope, kicking Ospreay in the face. Wow, there's just so many great highlights in this match. Aussie Open now pull out Pac from the ring as Lucha Brothers pull out Ospreay. So the 2 tag teams here, Lucha Brothers and the Aussie Open, are fighting big time in the ring. Lucha Brothers hit double what was it? Super kicks, I think it was. And then Ospreay and Pac come in hitting double poison ranas on all 4 men. Holy crap. So Ospreay and Pac coming at the same time hit the reverse Hurricane Rana on all 4 men, 2 apiece, and that was amazing. What the heck did I just witness? Pac and Ospreay now stare at each other and fire up, hitting big forearms back and forth. Ospreay hits a few in a row, but Pac answers back with a nasty-looking kick combo. Ospreay responds with a flipping kick, and Pac hits a German suplex, but Ospreay gets right back up, hitting an Os cutter. Both men are down, and the crowd is going absolutely wild, and this is what I love about wrestling right here. This match is awesome. If you did not see this trios match, make sure you watch this one, and definitely don't miss the Dax Harwood lethal match from earlier. So 2 elite matches tonight to go along with the shocking 4-minute unification match. And the women's match wasn't too bad, although way too short. And the Colten Gunn Billy Gunn match was completely trash. But we're not even done with this main event, and this has been an amazing Dynamite. So now Ospreay, it's a beautiful looking spinning backbreaker. Pac's just barely able to kick out at 2. Outside of the ring, Kyle hits a brainbuster of all things on Fenix, just willy-nilly outside of the ring as if it was nothing. Then Mark Davis is also taking out Penta. Ospreay goes up to the top rope, but Pac catches him, sending Ospreay to the mat. Pac then tries to leap off for a move, but Ospreay comes right back up and looks to hit a big move. But Fenix now comes out of nowhere with a springboard kick to Ospreay's face. So now Fenix is on the rope in the same corner as Pac and Ospreay. All 3 of them are up there, and Fenix hits an Hurricane Rana on Ospreay, who flips through it, landing on his feet. That was amazing, and the crowd goes wild. Fenix follows that with a nasty-looking cutter, spiking Ospreay on the top of his head. What am I witnessing in this match? Penta now leaps from the outside, or to the outside on the Mark Davis. Fenix dives out on the Kyle Fletcher, and Ospreay gets the knees up to counter the Black Arrow attempt here. That would have won the match for sure. So Pac then counters a Stormbreaker attempt, which is Ospreay's finisher, and countering it with a nasty Hurricane Rana with a pin. Mark Davis comes in and catches Fenix in midair with a big strike to his face. Penta then is able to take out Mark. Pac takes out Kyle, and then it's back to just Ospreay and Pac. Pac jumps off the ropes but gets caught, and Pac somehow turns this catch into a DDT still. Fletcher's able to pull Ospreay out of the ring just in time to avoid a Black Arrow, but Pac is still on the ropes. He didn't leap off yet, so now he positions himself over to the turnbuckle and leaps off backwards with a moonsault to the outside of the ring. He takes out Aussie Open, but now when Pac gets up, he sees Kip Sabian with the box on his head in the front row. So if you haven't been following on Dark, Pac has been defending his title all over Europe, and this Kip Sabian character, who's from Europe, England as well, with a box on his head, has been following Pac to every match. So finally, after over a year, we finally get someone to approach Kip Sabian with the box on his head, and Pac rips the box off. However, it's somebody with tape over their mouth, and it's not Kip Sabian. All of a sudden, Kip Sabian, with terrible white hair, just like his wife Penelope Ford, comes from behind, and Kip Sabian attacks Pac. Kip Sabian leaves after that, and the referee, we're told, was checking on one of the guys outside, maybe Penta, from that brainbuster or something. So Mark Davis now hits a huge lariat on Fenix, and then Fletcher takes out Penta, and United Empire hit a triple team forearm, followed by a triple team Os cutter. And of course, this gets the 1, 2, 3. Wow. The winners of this match by pinfall, United Empire. And wow, next week, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, 2 of the best in the world, will be in the same ring at the same time in the same match. That is must-watch television. I cannot wait for that match. This match right here was awesome. One of those that you're definitely gonna want to have to watch again. This is one. I don't even. If I love a movie, I'll never go back and watch it. But this is actually one of those matches you can go back and watch this trios match and probably see some stuff you didn't see the first time. Great stuff. And next week's sure to be just as good as the Elite. Kenny Omega leading the Elite. United Empire with Will Ospreay leading them into the match. Holy crap, is that going to be a good one next week? And before this episode of Dynamite can even end, Kenny Omega's music hits, and he comes out with the Young Bucks. So Kenny has a lot of tape on his shoulder and knee, and the Elite stop on the entrance ramp here. Will Ospreay tells him to get in the ring, but Kenny Omega wants to enter, and Don Callis holds him back. So wow, that's going to be Good. That should be the main event of next week's Dynamite. Really good stuff. Two elite matches that you have to see from this episode of Dynamite. You got this trios match, Death Triangle and United Empire. This is a must watch, and it's also a must watch for Jay Lethal and Dax Harwood. The women's match and the Gunn Club match definitely can skip. And holy crap, is it shocking that CM Punk, the story here is that CM Punk has returned too soon and he's lost the title in 4 minutes. And now we're probably not going to find out what the main event of All Out is going to be on Rampage. I doubt that'll be the case, which means we're probably not going to find out the main event of All Out until 4 days before the event, which is going to be wild. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be floating out a lot of theories. I'm sure a lot of them are going to be MJF. If you go by what Jon Moxley was saying here by saying my time is now, he was basically saying it's going to be John Cena, but I certainly hope and doubt that's the case. I'm sure maybe it'll be MJF, maybe it'll be Hangman Page. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a triple threat, maybe it'll be no title match, but I hope not. There has to be a main event, right? And who else is there even available? So maybe they'll announce it on Rampage, maybe on social media, but I doubt it. It looks like at this point, next week's Dynamite, which is also in Chicago, they'll be in Chicago for a live Dynamite, a live Rampage, and then on Sunday that same week, next week Sunday, will be All Out. So we've already announced 8 matches, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple more. We've got the TBS title potentially with Jade Cargill, and we've got the men's world title. So going to be interesting to see what the heck happens with that. I can't even imagine what it's going to be. I mean, you got guys like Claudio, like he could fight Moxley in his own thing. I don't think that'll be the case. Eddie Kingston, I mean, Eddie seemed. Oh, remember Eddie wanted a match with Sammy Guevara, but they kind of seemingly dropped that storyline. So maybe we'll pick that back up on Rampage because Sammy Guevara takes on Ortiz. Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello take on Ortiz and Ruby Soho. So maybe we'll pick that back up, and that'll be another all-out match, Eddie Kingston against Sammy Guevara. But I don't know. It seemingly they haven't talked about that match in a while. So going to be interesting to see what happens. Really good stuff. I still can't believe the unification match ended in 4 minutes or something like that, but it makes sense. If CM Punk wasn't going to be able to return for the next couple months, just get rid of the interim title and see, hey, CM Punk, can you work a 4-minute match? And then I will give you a couple more months off of rest. And maybe that's what happens. So I have no idea where we're going to go from here, but really good stuff tonight. And I'm looking forward to both Rampage, Elevation, and Dark, as well as Dynamite. So I cover all 4 on this channel. You probably won't find a more in-depth Elevation and Dark review in all of the internet. So check those out if you're an AEW fan. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to get going. Enjoy your week, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. So have a great night. Peace.